If we want to round 3.47 to one decimal place, what we do is look at the number that follows the first decimal place. So if we're rounding to one decimal place, we look at the number that's after that first decimal place. In this case, that's a 7. If the number following the 4 is 5 or more, then we'll round up. And if it's less than 5, we round down. In this case, you can see 7 is in the category 5 or more, so the answer, if we round 3.47 to one decimal place, is 3.5. We round up. In this example, we're rounding to 2 decimal place accuracy. So we do exactly the same thing as before, except this time we find the second decimal place, and then we look at the number that follows from that second decimal place. So in this case, it's a 2 after the second decimal place, so that means that we're going to round this number down, because if the number following the 7 is 4 or less, we'll round down. If it's 5 or more, we'll round up. So the answer to 2 decimal places is going to be 4.57. If we want to round 4.445 to one decimal place accuracy, we do exactly the same thing we've done before. We go to the first decimal place, which is here, where the arrow is, that 4. We think about the number which follows directly after that. And the number that follows directly after that, as shown by this blue arrow, is the 4. The 5 has nothing to do with it. The only thing we care about is the number that follows the first decimal place. So, because the number following that first decimal place is a 4, what we're going to do is round down. So the answer to this question is 4.4. In this question, we want to round 6.799 to 2 decimal place accuracy. To do this, we do the same thing as before. So we identify the second decimal place, which is where this 9 is. We look at the number which follows it, and we can see that it's a 9. So the whole of the 6.799 is going to be rounded up. But when we round up the second decimal place number, this 9 here, when we round this one up, it's going to become a 10. So we get a 0, replacing the 9. The 1 gets carried to the 7 column, so it's as if the 7 gets replaced with an 8 when we do our rounding. And so the answer for this question is 6.80. We need to show the 8 and the 0 because we want 2 decimal place accuracy. So we need to show both those decimal places.